Well, it's a beautifully sunny day in the Noto Arts District in North Topeka here, but it's not just for arts. There's some wonderful specialty stores, one of which is Rusty Haggles Antiques. We're going to go on in and say hi to him. It's my good friend Hal Gardner. How are you doing, Hal?
Chris, how are you?
Hal is one of the owners of Rusty Haggles here. Hey, thanks for being around here for us to come on in today.
Our pleasure.
Hey, so can we talk about the store?
Absolutely.
All right, let's find a comfy spot.
What kind of businessman would I be if we didn't talk about this?
No kidding, right? We'll set up over here.
Okay.
So we found a comfy little spot here. I wanted to ask you a few questions about Rusty Haggles.
Absolutely.
First of all, where did the name come from?
Jean, my wife, is the real owner of this whole thing. It was her plan when she retired from the public library to do this. It took a few months to get it accomplished, but here we are. And we needed to come up with a name that we could all agree to. We wanted a character. We wanted to convey old stuff. We wanted to convey the willingness to haggle, the willingness to talk about price. And Rusty Haggles kind of evolved out of the conversation.
Absolutely, and we're over in the Noto Arts District, and you guys were one of the first few folks over here. What has that experience been like for you guys?
You know, that was about 2 years ago, a little less than that. I think maybe we were the third to come on board, and it's just been incredible. The first three, we all collaborated, cooperated, talked. Barbara Waterman Peters was across the street, Shelley Bedsall, the girls next door here at 2 Days. And of course, Bradley's Cafe down in the corner down there, and Jim Roebuck. So there was a cadre of people here then, and we immediately glommed onto them as community neighbors and have learned a lot from them. We've cooperated, we've collaborated, and we continue to do that now that there's 20-some merchants down here.
Well, that's one of the things the Noto Arts District has grown so much in such a short period of time. And to see all of the folks in the community coming together to make that happen, it really must seem like a community over here.
Right, and they've done it with a flair. You know, it's been fun. We test things, we try different things out. We've done everything from the street dance kind of thing, closing off the street. We don't do that very often. We try to keep it open. First Friday events, just like they are in the south part of town, are phenomenal. We see upwards of 2,000 plus people here on a typical nice First Friday. Now, when it's snowing or cold, like it has been the last few months, that was problematic. But even then, we had 700 to 1,000. And you really can't complain about that.
No, you can't, and especially to see all of the different people. There's different art forms. What you guys do, tell us a little bit about what you guys specialize in here at Rusty Haggles.
And we could call everybody competitors, but they really aren't. We all kind of specialize in unique things. I've got musical instruments here that I personally collect, antique radios, typewriters, militariana, all kinds of things that have been kind of pet projects of mine over the years. And Jean has had lots of pet projects as well. And she has different areas of the store that she kind of specializes with. We all take part in creating vignettes and putting things together in a nice kind of way. We didn't want a mall look. We didn't want a flea market look. We tried to establish a shop that we would enjoy going into if we were looking and shopping.
Yeah, and this is a very, very unique shop. I want to have you, if you'll take us on a little tour and show us our cameras about what you guys have. So let's go do it.
Sure.
So something else we have in the front here, all your musical instruments. Tell us a little bit about those.
I want you to get out of here without at least seeing the musical instruments. I personally have a collection of them at home, and I have them here, and I just love to think about them and talk about them and play them. Some of them date back to near the Revolutionary War and come on forward to the present time.
It's right here. There's all these ornate, very just beautiful antique lamps and lights hanging from the ceiling. Tell us about those.
They are very special. Our dealer for those lamps is Steve Lawley. He lives over in Meriden. And they're Aladdin lamps. He's collected them for years and years and years. He's brought select lamps over here before the 28, 30s, that kind of thing. We were talking about the competition between electricity and kerosene. And there were actually articles in the paper talking about why you would want kerosene instead of electric. The electric might not be good for your health. It's always been that way. Things evolve and they take time to adapt, and whether it's electricity, whether it's AC or DC or kerosene, it all was factored in. In 1928, they were talking about the first presidential campaign to be broadcast on radio. I've got a lot of old radios around here. We have the advertising from that time. They talk about, well, if you're in New York borough, one New York borough would be doing DC, One other borough would be doing AC. You'd have to buy a different radio.
We got to go take a look at radios. Let's go do it.
Amazing.
All right. So just to give you an idea of some of the really cool specialty items you can find here at Rusty Haggles and in the Noto Arts District, radio, we have radios up here. Tell us a little bit about these.
That's a 1928 Atwater Kent. That's one of the ones I was talking about with the Hoover election in 1928. This would have been the AC version, and there was a DC version. And then this is a cylinder player.
So these are our cylinders.
Right.
And they play right through here.
That's a 2-minute record.
That's
Put
really
it on
cool.
this little guy here. You turn this little guy on.
Let's see what it does.
We set the needle down on the cylinder. Sounds like it's stuck. Anyway, but they're records, that's what they are. And the fact that they were recorded 105 years ago is pretty amazing when you think about it.
And this is an Edison phonograph.
Right.
Wow.
It's the Triumph phonograph. They had upgrades, this was an aftermarket speaker, if you will, a horn. They're just amazing instruments, and they're beautiful.
So Hal, you also have a great collection of military gear. Tell us a little bit about this.
Yeah, I do. And of course, this would be a whole different interview if you had Gene in front of the mic. But we got the other day in consignment a whole group of Militariana. And it's phenomenal stuff. These tanks are made in France, and they're beautiful pieces of work all in and of themselves. We've got original jackets and World War I mess kits and canteens and World War II paraphernalia, Korea War. It's kind of interesting that we mark our history with wars, but that's just the way it kind of works.
That's right. In the Noto Arts District, it seems like everything can be art, which is really great, especially what you guys show here. But you also have a gallery upstairs here.
Sure
so why don't we go take a look at that? All right. So we're in the Stonewall Gallery. Why on earth is it called the Stonewall Gallery?
I can't imagine. It's just, somebody had a really good imagination, I guess.
So right now, who's the exhibit that we've got in here right now?
This is a fellow by the name of Frisbee, Rick Frisbee. He's from Salina. We have a different artist every month that's featured in this gallery. And it's the first night of it is always on First Friday. And then it's open throughout the month up here on the second floor.
How do you arrange the artists that come here to the Stonewall Gallery?
All we do is provide the venue. Joey Embers is our core artist. He's the one that's responsible for all of the activity up here on the second floor. He and his fellow artists created this gallery and the studios down the hallway, and it's pretty phenomenal what they do every month.
So as we're in the hallway here, walking down to the artist lofts, how did this whole idea come about?
Well, really, Joey Embers, our partner, the idea evolved. Jane and Joey were colleagues at the library. There are several people that are involved in the library that are up here as well. And he wanted to make sure that we served a good audience of people, from children right on through adults, satisfying all the artistic merits that are abound out there.
Cool, let's go see which artists you have over here. Right
here you've got student artists from Quincy Elementary, which is the 501 Visual Arts Signature School.
All right, so we're in one of the artist's offices, the suites up here, if you will. Tell us a little bit about this one that we're in.
Well, Michael does a good job with all kinds of photography. He and his wife are both visual artists, and you can tell looking around that he has some award-winning art here that's been accomplished with digital photography. He does triple exposures and quadruple exposures and does some minimalist work and contrasty work, black and white, sepia, full color. Just a combination of things. I know more about his world than I do about some of our other artists in their unique worlds.
Yeah, very cool. He's got some really wonderful work here, very creative. I mean, you look at photography and you see how much someone can do with photography. They do beautiful work.
Absolutely. It's a real tool.
Yeah. So we just stepped out of Michael Wolf's studio. Where are we at right now?
This is the studio of Robert Hubbard. Robert was a teacher for many, many years, and he is still teaching art to select students who want to get some training and some tutorials. And you're seeing a working studio.
It absolutely is. It's got everything out, and you can tell that work is done right here.
And he has in storage probably 50, 60 paintings, some in progress, some that are finished. It's always amazing to me to watch a work being done here, and there's another work over here that's in progress, and whatever his mood is causes him to generate that work. And that's pretty much true of all the artists. They may come down here at 2 in the morning, They may come down here at more normal hours, but we get there. They have the keys to the place, and it's their time.
Wow, it just makes you wonder, with all this art and all this wonderful work and all these wonderful people around Topeka, how did we do it without this place? How did we do it without Noto?
That's exactly right.
Well, Hal, I thank you so much for joining us on the show. Our next guest is Anita. She's right over here, so we're going to go pick it up with her and take a look around Noto. You guys don't go away. We'll be back with Anita Wolgast, and she's going to show us all about Noto and everything that they're doing down here in North Topeka.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, and good luck with Rusty Haggles.
You bet, absolutely.